This is a tutorial for Orange by Pinegrove. As of today, if you're from the future, he has just put out that acoustic version of him on the boat. So that is what this video is based on. As of now, there's no studio version, so if the studio version comes out, it's a little different. Sorry about that. This is accurate to that acoustic version. Standard tuning, no capo. This tutorial also assumes that you have basic knowledge of, like normal, like open chords. So if I say a chord and you don't know what I mean, I'll explain some of the weirder ones, but if I say a chord and you don't know what it means, a quick Google will help you out, because these are all pretty simple chords. So to start off, you're going to be on a C over G for the little intro, and the whole song is based on this like waltz structure, so every chord basically gets a measure of 1, 2, 3. So when I refer to a measure, I mean 1, 2, 3. So the intro is just going to be 2 measures of that C over G. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. And then it's going to pick up right in the verse, still on a C over G, to an E minor, to an F. Sometimes he's doing F bar chord, sometimes he's doing this F. I will specify which F he's doing in a certain spot. Something to note is when he's playing this F normally, you'd have your first 2 strings barred. He's not barring it, he's muting the high E string, so it should sound like this. So it's the verse again, C over G, E minor, F, back to C over G. That's the first sort of line. If you're counting in 4 with like each measure is one, it's convoluted, but basically the first line. And then it's gonna stay on C over G. When he does that, he's gonna take his middle finger off that C over G and put it back down, so. And sort of, it's like in the pickup to the next measure, so like. 1, 2, and 1, 2. To an A minor 7. To an F, to a G major. You'll see him do this G major without the finger on the B string. Doesn't matter, I just play this G major. So the first 2 lines of the verse, to get that that part in there. That's the first 2 lines of the verse, and then it's going to be the second line, just repeat it. So C over G, A minor 7, F, G, that again. And then to end the verse, you're going to go C over G, E minor, F bar chord. And then it ends there. It's going to end there, so there's no like 4th measure. Just C over G, E minor, F bar chord. And the first time you run through that, what you're going to do after that F bar chord is just run through the whole verse again. So when you get to there, you're going to go. And just start the verse over again entirely. Etc. So that's the first 2 verses, ending on by I measured the narrow length across. Coming out of the chorus, that second full time you repeat it, or full verse, excuse me. He's going to go into the chorus. So after this part, start the chorus. So coming out of this F bar chord, you're going to barely touch like a C over G and slide up to a D minor bar chord. So to a G major, to a C over G add 9. So this is not your normal C over G. It's going to be your middle and ring finger on the E and A strings of the 3rd fret. your first finger on the 2nd fret of the D string and your pinky on the 3rd fret of the B string. So that chord should be 3, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0. It's your C over G add 9. So together. To an A minor 7. And then your non-barred F, except in this this chorus, he's going to remove his middle finger, so it should sound like this. To a G major. And that's the end of the first chorus into this little instrumental part. So the full chorus, with lyrics, I guess, for context, it's today the sky is orange and you and I know why. So into an instrumental part where it's C over G, E minor, F bar chord to C over G. Now that F bar chord, he's going to strum it once and then pull his middle finger off, but he's not just pulling his middle finger off, it's not this. He's pulling his middle finger off and removing this bar. So when you pull your middle finger off, stop barring the F chord and just fret the low E string 1st fret. Obviously, when he's playing that, he's no longer playing these, he wasn't anyway, but he's not playing the high strings that are no longer barred, so it's not, like you don't hear all those. It should just sound like that. To the C over G. If that's too difficult, an alternative is to not play the barred F, play this F, and just remove your middle finger. But he plays it like this. To the C over G. Then another C over G, to E minor, to F, and to the verse again. So that whole instrumental part I'll play all together. I try to into the 2nd verse, so it's C over G, E minor. It's the first verse of the 2nd verse, the first part of the 2nd verse is going to be exactly the same, except for the first part, he's going to bar that F when he usually doesn't, because he's playing a little louder. So C over G, E minor, barred F chord, C over G, and then from then on it's the same verse, which is C over G, A minor 7, F, G twice, and then C over G, E minor, F, and then repeat chorus or repeat verse. But the 2nd part of the verse, the chords are going to be a little different. It's C over G still, E minor, another barred F, C over G. Then the 2nd part, C over G, A minor 7. A barred F to an E minor, so that's different. Then C over G, A minor 7, F, G major to C over G. And this part it's a little bit different because instead of earlier when he had that sort of transition to the chorus, it's just going to come right out of the verse. So that C over G actually gets a full measure to itself. So for lyrics, so you know what I'm talking about, I'll just play through that whole sort of last verse part so you can get how it gets into the chorus, which the chorus, by the way, is going to be the same chords as normal. It's just going to repeat twice. Okay. Bragging on YouTube. F, criminals, G major, and then C over G with a full measure. They're trying to. So that's sort of how that's going to transition to the chorus. So, trying to ignore it. We always knew we tried. And so normally, double check. Yeah, the end of the chorus is just that weird F to a G. This time it's going to be an F bar chord to a G. But since the chorus doesn't end, the way you're going to repeat it is you're going to go from that G to a C over G to an A minor 7. Then you're just going to repeat it, so D minor bar chord to a G, C over G add 9, A minor 7. And the outro is F, G major, C over G. Not outro, I should say, but just the end of the chorus, which is the end of the song. You and I know why. Sort of ends like that. So that should be everything you need to play the song. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks a lot.